Hateful Eight is easily one of my favorite films to come from Quentin Tarantino, and in my opinion, is one of his best works ever. Now that's a pretty bold statement, describing, known by many, to be his worst film out of his 9. Of course, if you've seen the video where I ranked all of his movies, then you'll know that I put Hateful Eight at number 6. Now, like Jamie Dutton, I don't think this movie deserves all the hate that it gets. I really do believe that this movie is one of the best written pieces that he's ever created. I love this film. Anyways, in that same video, I said that the best character in Hateful Eight was none other than Chris Mannix, played by Walton Goggins. He's easily the one that's most fun to watch. I love the way Tarantino wrote this character. Really every character is written well. Kurt Russell's John the Hangman Ruth and Samuel Jackson's Major Marquess Warren are also great characters. The cast is amazing. I really feel that when Quentin Tarantino was thinking of who to cast for this film, he really just chose his favorite performers and put them into one movie. Okay. I could go on and on about why this movie is one of my favorites, but that's not what this video is about. Today, I wanted to talk about something that I noticed while rewatching this film, and that's about the importance of critical thinking. So for today's video, we will be going over why critical thinking is important. There are a few moments within this film that show us the importance of critical thought. There's the point when we are first introduced to Mannix, and it's clear that he has put a lot of his points into the speech skill. In order for John Ruth to accept him and give him a lift, Chris tells Ruth that he won't get paid unless he makes it to Red Rock because he's the new sheriff. Despite John Ruth not believing what Chris is telling him, he uses critical thought to evaluate Mannix and decides that it's better to bring Chris to Red Rock and him be the sheriff where he can be paid rather than the opposite. The next use of thinking critically comes from Chris Mannix. During the segment where John Ruth, Major Warren, Daisy Domergue, and Chris are all at the table eating stew, Chris nonchalantly asks Warren about the letter he received from Abraham Lincoln. Chris is obviously skeptical about the letter and starts to ask questions. After each question, John defends Warren about the letter. As Chris pieces it together, he bursts out in laughter, because how outrageous it is for the Abraham Lincoln to be writing letters to a random soldier during the Civil War. And it turns out Mannix was right. Now, the lesson for critical thought lies with John Ruth, who believed it through and through. It's important to be skeptical about things and to keep asking yourself questions. If not, you could be led down a path of lies and will end up looking like a fool. So save yourself the embarrassment and remain skeptical about things that don't sound right. The last and final use and importance of critical thought comes again from Chris Mannix. In the movie's final segments, Chris is given the choice to betray Major Warren and make sure Daisy Domergue gets off the mountain alive, or he can kill Daisy right then and there. Mind you, both Major Warren and Chris have been gravely injured after the events that transpired leading up to this point in the film. Chris's choice is a somewhat difficult one to make without any critical thought, but that's just it. Mannix has the ability to critically think. After weighing out the options, he decides it's best to side with Major Warren, resulting in Daisy Domergue and the rest of her gang to be departed. Wait, let's go back to how Chris was able to evaluate his decision. First is the validity of Daisy's story. She says that she has 15 other gang members down in Red Rock, which Chris does not believe in the slightest. Second, she says that if she spares him, they can all sit there for 3 days while the blizzard passes over, and then proceed to move off the mountain together. First of all, Chris doesn't believe that she and Daisy will be able to do that. And second, Chris knows that he ain't getting off the mountain. He's been fatally wounded. And lastly, is because if she did care about getting Chris off the mountain safely, she would have told him that the coffee was poisoned before he almost drank it, which she did not. Thus making Mannix's decision to side with Marcus Warren an easy one. And that's why having the ability to critically think is so important. It could help you get paid, or even make sure you don't look like a fool. And most importantly, it will allow you not to blindly follow the herd of sheep off a cliff. Alright people, that's all I have for today's video. I sincerely hope that you enjoyed this program, because I most certainly did. The growth recently on this channel has been insane, and I thank each and every one of you for supporting me. Genuinely, it means a lot. Thank you. Alright, that's all from me for today, and without further ado, peace out, nerds!